Woo! Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Gaming Plus, where my aiming is gaming. I am your host, the boy G, and we gonna talk about it. Let's talk about it. All right, in this video, we are gonna talk about basically and sadly, I have just realized how greedy, disgusting, and scummy the Nintendo company can be. And I'm kind of mad that I just realized this so late, because I am a big supporter of Nintendo and everything they have done in the past and what they do even now. Some things, okay? And listen, that Nintendo is what made me start my channel. The Nintendo Switch is what made me want to do this, okay? What I am doing now. And yes, my Nintendo Switch 2 is already pre-ordered, paid for, and ready to go. Alright? Even though it's $450, which it should not cost, because the Japan Nintendo Switch 2, in Japan, it only costs $350. Okay? Except, it just doesn't have it's not, you can't play like English games on it. It's strictly just Japan. Alright? Alright, it's not region unlocked or nothing. Like, you can't play it. It's just Japan. So why can't the Nintendo Switch 2 in America just be just American, just English? And we can't play Japan, French, British versions of games on it. I don't care about none of that. Make it just English and American and charge us only $350 for a Nintendo Switch 2. But we don't get that. And it's not because of tariffs and the percentage raise up and the economy and the inflation, and then it's not even because of that stuff why the Nintendo Switch 2 is $450. All right, so I don't want to hear none of that, because the Nintendo Switch 2 isn't even manufactured in Japan. It's not. That's the crazy part. All right, so it's a lot. All right, mind you, even the games. All right, just games, period. Have you ever noticed that Nintendo never lowers the price of their games anymore? Okay, now, listen. They don't lower the prices of their games anymore. They stay at the same price the entire time. The Nintendo Switch has been out for about 8 years now. It's going to be 8 years. Okay? Breath of the Wild came out in the beginning. Splatoon 2 came out in the beginning. ARMS came out in the beginning. Mario Odyssey came out in the beginning. Super Smash Bros. Came out in the beginning. Mario Kart 8 came out on the Wii U and the Deluxe. Just about. It came out in the beginning of the Switch. All of these games are still $60. I was about to say dollars. Like, that's how flabbergasted and just tongue-twisted I am. They're still $60. They have not lowered in price at all. Yeah, they get some sales sometimes, a little 20% off, maybe 30% off here and there. But then they jump back to $60. Why? Why is that? Why aren't these games lowering? The fact that Splatoon 2, it's still $60. Splatoon 2 and Splatoon 3 is $60. Splatoon 2 $60, Splatoon 3 $60. Do you see where I'm going here? Splatoon 2 is it's 7 years old. You're still charging $60 for that? And part 3 has already came out and that's $60? What is wrong with you people? You're telling me this game can't drop down to $40, to $20? We're gonna keep it at 60 so we can keep getting your money. Yo, that's crazy. Nintendo used to put their games on sale. Alright, look. Bro, Alright, Super Mario 3D World. It's $60 on Nintendo Switch right now. It came out on the Wii U. Alright? Super Mario 3D World came out on the Wii U and it ported to the Switch. It was $60. What? It was what? $60 on $50 on the Wii U. Then it dropped down to $20. Okay, as a Nintendo Classics. Then it got ported to the Switch for $60. What? Oh, they added Bowser's Fury. I don't care. It's still An over a decade old game. I don't care. Keep it $60 then. Because how you go from 60, drop it down to 20, then bring it back to 60. No. That's ridiculous. And what else? What do we got here? Freaking... Oh my god. Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. Now, this is ridiculous. Okay? Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze also was released on the Wii U for $60. Then dropped down to $20 as a Nintendo Classics on the Wii U. Then ported to the Nintendo Switch for $60 again. And all you added was Funky Kong mode, where you can just play as Funky Kong. And you're charging us $60. And the game has still not lowered. Mind you, and we also got Donkey Kong Country Returns that just dropped on the Switch, also for $60. How is Part 1 the same price as Part 2? Still. And that Donkey Kong game also released on the Wii for what, 50, 60? Then on the, oh god, then on the 3DS for $40. Then now it's back to 60. And the graphics look worse. You see all this? It's crazy. I've just realized all of this. It is, y'all keep charging us for all these games, and you ain't lowering the prices of these games. They're all still the same price. Even PlayStation and Xbox lowered their game prices after a few years. What? What else? Yeah, bro, I had to write stuff down because there was too much to remember. All right, Luigi's Mansion 2. All right, or Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, whatever you want to call it, that released on the 3DS, released at $40. Then got dropped down to a Nintendo Classics or Selects or whatever these things are called for $20. Then now ported and re-released HD on the Nintendo Switch for $60. Bruh. I'm mad that I'm just realizing all of this. Okay? That is wild. You got bring these games back, port them, remastered, whatever. Okay, that's cool. I don't think you should be charging still the same amount that you're charging for brand new games in this age of life at the same prices. If you're gonna remaster, you know what I mean, port, bring back a game that was old, I don't care. Cool. You gotta make it cheaper, bruh. $50, $40. You know what I mean? You made Metroid Prime remastered $40. Every remastered game then should get the same treatment, the same price. Alright, these are old games you're just bringing back and touching up the graphics or fixing it up or remaking, whatever you're doing. You guys are being ridiculous. It just hurts my heart. Like, really, this is crazy when I'm going through this list of stuff. Alright? And the fact that now on the Nintendo Switch 2, you guys are going to charge us for 4K graphics. Higher graphics that all of these games on the Switch should have already had. You're going to charge us now an extra $10 to $20 for graphics that these games should have already been. Alright? Frame rates that these games should have already been. Alright? You got these games on the Switch that are running at 30 frames per second that should be running 60 to 120 frames per second. And then now they're going to run the way they're supposed to on a Nintendo Switch 2. And you guys are going to charge us $10 for your mistake. $20 for your mistake. We're paying for your mistakes. And you're going to have us pay for a game chat button on the Nintendo Switch 2. There's going to be a button on your controller that you are not going to be able to use because you have to pay for it. I didn't realize this. There's going to be a button on your controller that doesn't work. That sounds insane. Game chat, voice chat, whatever this thing is. That should have been a thing over 10 years ago on a Nintendo console. And once again, we're paying for your mistake, your delay. We're paying for yours. This should be free. Game chat should be free. Oh, it's free with the family membership plan with the Nintendo Switch 2 online service. I don't know. It's not free because technically we're still paying for it. We are still paying for it on the family plan, the membership. The family membership is about $80 a year. And guess what? The Nintendo Switch 2, that family membership plan online service, expansion pack, they're going to increase it. The price is going to increase. They're going to raise that up. It will not be around $80 anymore. It's probably going to be around $90, $100 a year now. Especially with them adding the Nintendo GameCube on there. On the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. I'm sorry. My mind is blown going through all this. And as I'm speaking about it, it all sounds crazy. It's like they're like a cancer. They're going to ruin the gaming industry because Nintendo is no longer owned. The president is no longer a president that's a gamer. That is a player, all right, that can understand their fans and love their fans and what they have. It's run now by a businessman, Doug Bowser. He is a cancer to Nintendo. He ain't no player. He ain't no gamer. I bet you he don't even have the Nintendo Switch at his house. I bet you he doesn't even play these games. He sits there, makes these rules, puts these prices on, gets the company this money, and he's a businessman just getting his cut. Getting his cut. That's all he's doing. This is crazy. I'm sorry. I had to write down everything because I can't remember all of this disgust. Okay? Oh my God. And you guys are charging us for a Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour game. $10 on the eShop for the Nintendo Switch 2. You are charging us a game to play, to learn how the Switch 2 operates and how for us to work it. $10. What? You're charging us for a game, a manual that was made into a game. You're charging us $10 for that. It's only $10. Yeah, exactly. It's only $10 that they didn't have to charge. Nintendo is a 14 probably more $billion company. It's a $1 billion company. That's all you got to know. Nintendo is a $1 billion company, and you're charging us $10 for a Welcome Tour manual game that should be free and packed in with the Nintendo Switch 2? You charging us now. Mind you, the DS had a free PictoChat app that we can just mess around with, toy with, and just go so we can learn the system, the little mini game handheld console. All right? And it also, the 3DS, what it had, the free Face Raiders game on there. It was a fun game. It was free. You get to take a picture of somebody, put it on the character, and get to shoot it on the screen and play a bunch of games and levels and stuff. It was free on the 3DS. Bruh, this is crazy. Wii Sports was free on the Nintendo Wii because of Reggie Fils-Aimé, the previous Nintendo of America president. The best. He was an amazing president. He made it that Wii Sports could be free because they wanted to charge us for it. But they packed it in free with the Nintendo Wii, and it became one of the most highest selling games ever because of the Nintendo Wii and being packed in together. All right? The Nintendo Switch, not even the Switch, the Nintendo Wii U eventually had the Nintendo Land packed in with it for free. Also a great game that it helps you learn how to work the gamepad and the Wii U and all of that. Then we get the Nintendo Switch. No free pack-in game, but it did come out with a 1-2 Switch video game that was $50. And it wasn't even that good at all. But it was fun, and if it was packed in with the Switch, that would have been so much better. Y'all didn't need that $50 for this crappy game that's an okay game that nobody's going to play anymore or doesn't even play it anymore. But it's literally just a game to help you learn how the Joy-Cons work. You know, the little IR camera thingy, whatever that thing is called, and how to move them and use them. That's literally what this game was built for, and that was all it was for. How it operates, moves, how you can use it. And it wasn't even packed in for free. We had to pay $50. Now you guys paying another $10 for a Welcome Tour Nintendo Switch 2. Bro, this is crazy. I'm flipping the page because they're still... Bruh. Game share doesn't even exist anymore. Oh, we have digital game cards. Yeah. Nobody cares. They got the game share thing now option on the Switch and the Switch 2 menu. The game share thing. But that's only for you to do download play. Something that the DS and 3DS had already like 10 years ago. Longer. That's all that's for. For one person to have the game and be able to play with other people that don't have the game on Nintendo Switches or Switch 2s, and they get the download free play to play with you even if you don't have the game. That's cool. But now game share is no longer on the Switch, as in if I have somebody on my family plan, my nephew, right? He's on my family plan. I can download Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, his digital copy, onto my Switch and play his digital copy for free since he's on my family plan. And I'm signed into his Nintendo account on my Switch. Alright? That Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, I was able to play that digital version for free off of his account that's signed into my Switch. You no longer can do that. You can't do that anymore. After the update of them doing this whole game share category and the whole digital game card, it's because of the digital game card crap option on your screen now on the Nintendo Switch and what's going to be on Nintendo Switch 2. Now that version of game sharing with your family members on a membership on your account, signed into theirs, on their digital games that you can download, you can't do that anymore. That's gone. I tried to do it the other day to play his digital Super Smash Bros. Ultimate on his account off of my Switch, and I couldn't do it anymore. It told me this game is already on another system as the primary account. So for me to use it now, his digital version of Smash Bros., I have a physical, but I didn't feel like going into my box to go get it and put it in, so I went to go click his. So this is how I found out. And then for me to even play his digital version now, I have to be with him. He has to send it to me as a digital game card from his Switch to my Switch. And mind you, now these little digital game cards, you can only do one at a time per member in your family membership. People can only send you one game. Not 2, 3, 4 at a time. One game. That is crazy. So I have to get it from him in person to send it to me, to my Switch. And then I can use it for 14 days. And he can just take it back whenever he wants by just saying, hey, I'm going to retrieve this game from that family member. That's cool. But I got it for 14 days and I have to go to you or you have to come to me. And I get it. You do that with physical games. That's what you have to do with physical games. This is crazy. I can't. This is. I'm mind blown. Physical control. And they're also now going to have not only digital, but physical control of your games. Oh, how is that? Because now these other third-party games or whatever, they're going to come with a digital key card. It's still going to be a physical cartridge, but it's a digital key card that comes in the third-party game case that you actually get to take out, pop it in your Switch, and it doesn't even have the game on it. It basically just has the licensing of that game. All right, Street Fighter 6 example. Street Fighter 6 is going to have a card, an actual physical cartridge that you put in, but it's only going to have the licensing of the game, and it is going to download the game onto your system, but you need that key card to play it on your system, and it only has a license. And mind you, in like 10 or 20 years, when the Switch 2 does no longer exist, you will not be able to play these games. Because you're going to need the Wi-Fi, the digital game card, the licensing that gets transferred, that sends to your system to play it on your... Bro. So unless they make a Nintendo Switch 3 and you can still use these digital key cards, you're not going to be able to play these games anymore. Yes, they're physical, but you're not going to be able to play it because the licensing is not yours. Bro, this is wild, bro. I just realized how scummy, cruddy, disgusting, and greedy this is. The fact that these games still do not lower in price. That Splatoon 2, Splatoon 3 had my mind blown. That Splatoon 2 has not dropped in price. And then you're bringing out Breath of the Wild again on the Switch 2 as a Nintendo Switch 2 edition, and you're charging us more. for a game that's been out for almost 8 years. You're charging us more for it now because the graphics are going to be upgraded now on the Switch 2, and the DLC isn't even included. You guys aren't even including the DLC, which even the DLC should just be free and added on to the Nintendo Switch Online Service Membership Expansion Pass for free. Just like the Octo Expansion Pass, the Booster Pack for Mario Kart 8, and the Animal Crossing Island Paradise thingy. Those are free with the membership. Why aren't all of these other DLCs for all these other Nintendo games free on the membership? Why isn't the Breath of the Wild DLC free? Why is the Fire Emblem Engage DLC free? Why isn't the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 DLC free? Why isn't the Luigi's Mansion DLC free? Why isn't the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC free? While you have a Nintendo Switch Online Service Expansion Pack Family Membership. Those should also be free on there. I can't. And it's crazy because even though I am saying all of this, I'm still going to support Nintendo, but to an extent. All right, I will no longer be buying just about every single one of their main games that come out. Now I'm going to have to pick and choose because you are going to have $80 to $90 games like Mario Kart World, and even $70 games. That's fine. That's all right. But you're going to charge us $80 for a Mario Kart World, and it's still going to be $80 even digital, which, mind you, these digital games that are on the Nintendo and you buy them from the eShop, digital, they should automatically already be cheaper. They should not be the same price because Nintendo doesn't have to fork over money to manufacturers, to people that make the cases, to make the cartridge, to put the games on the cartridge, to ship them out, to take them to other stores that distribute and sell their games, and they have to give them a cut. GameStop, Walmart, Target, they have to give them a cut of the games that they sell there for them. On the eShop, they're still the same price, and they should be cheaper because you ain't got nobody else to deal with. All that money goes to just you, not no manufacturers of the case, of the cartridge, of the distributor, of the store that's selling it for you and giving them a. The games digitally should be cheaper. Bruh, even at least $20, $30, $40 cheaper. But Nintendo's not going to do that because they know people are going to keep buying it. They don't care. And they'll get all of the money. That is some selfish, greedy, maniacal, disgusting, scummy thing to do. So my Nintendo Switch 2 is already prepaid, paid, and ready to go. I'm going to get it on day one. But I got it with the Mario Kart bundle because I'm not paying $80 for no Mario Kart World. So I'm going to have to get a bundle so that way technically the game only paid $50 for it. For $500, the entire system with the bundle. This is sad and disgusting. And yeah, so like I said, there's only going to be selective games that I'm going to pay and buy now because your prices of your games are going to be ridiculous. Alright, the fact that you guys are charging this much for a Nintendo Switch 2 in America and $350 in Japan, but it's $450 in America is crazy to me. Already. And your games are going to be ridiculously priced. Your accessories are going to be ridiculously priced. Your controllers are going to be just priced. And then y'all raised up the price. Oh God, listen. And then now PlayStation and Xbox are going to raise up the prices of their consoles because of all of this. Because they think that the consoles should be cheaper at first, but then later on charge more so that way people will run and buy them in the beginning of their launch. This is crazy. I can't even imagine how much Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to cost, and now it's already been pushed back even more because they're probably going to add more stuff so they can charge you even more. Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be like $100 to $120. Mark my words, this is going to be crazy, and people are going to pay for it. I am disgusted. I will no longer buy every single, or just about almost every single main Nintendo published game or first party games. I'm not going to buy it. And listen, this is coming from someone that buys just about every single one. $60 already sucked. $70, it would have been a hard pill to swallow, but it is what it is. $80 and $90, you guys are disgusting. That is crazy. You guys are taking advantage of your fan base, of the community, of everybody that plays games. You're going to kill gaming. Gaming is going to die again, and it's going to have to get another reboot crash down from what happened in '93. And maybe that's what it needs. I'm done. And as I'm speaking of all this, I just realized this is disgusting. Wow. No more. No longer. Absolutely not. Now I'm going to have to be able to, I'm going to have to choose wisely of what games I am going to buy and put my time and money into. $80. Bro, that's groceries. And groceries still, that's too much. That's a bill. I'm done. I'm disgusted. That's all I got. You guys let me know what you think about all of this. Please, God, put in the comments. Please, God, let me know what you think about all of this and the disgust and the greed and the scumminess of all of this. And I still love Nintendo, but God, that love is tarnished. Put in the comments. Let me know what you think about all of this. There you go, guys. Game Aim Plus. Please subscribe. Click that little bell button. That way, every time I upload a new video, it'll pop up on your phone like, you feel me, dog? You feel me? But yeah, y'all have a great morning, afternoon, night, whatever it is, wherever you're at. And I'll catch you in the next one. Booyah! Woo!